Hello and welcome. Digital Signal Processing online lecture series. Myself Reema Rawal from LG Institute of Engineering and Technology. Today's topic is properties of discrete time system from the unit number 2, that is discrete time signal science system. In this unit we are going to observe the properties of discrete time system and we will perform the examples for that and we will find the different properties for the same. Okay, so let's start with that. First of all, let us see different properties of discrete time system. The first property is static and dynamic system. Second is time variant and time invariant system. Third is linear and nonlinear system. Fourth is causal and non-causal system. And the fifth one is stable and unstable system. We will see each of these properties in detail and we will do the examples for the same. In example, you may ask to find any of these properties of the given data, right? So let's start with the first one, that is static and dynamic system. Okay, so the static systems are those systems in which the output instant depends on the input instant of the same interval only. That means, let's say for example, at output instant n equals to 2, there is some output. So this output, that means at instant n equals to 2, depends only in the input at that particular instant, that means at n equals to 2 only. So this kind of system in which output depends only at the same instant of the input, it is called as static system. So static system can be defined as the system in which output is dependent or output depends at that instant of time which is same to the input. Okay, that means, let's say for example, if I say an output system y of n that is equals to x of n, so as you can see, if I vary n equals to 0 up to whatever the values I take, so here y of 0 will give the instant x of 0, y of 1 will give you the instant x of 1. That means the instant at which I am taking the output, it depends only at similar instant of the input. So this kind of system is called as static system. So now next is dynamic system. So in dynamic system, the output depends on the present input as well as on the past or future inputs as well. So we can say that it can depend on the present input, that is x of n, or else past inputs, that is x of n minus k, or future values, or else you can say x of n plus k. So it may depend on any of these values, which is called as dynamic system, right? Let's say for example, if I consider y of n that is equals to x of n plus x of n minus 2, right? So this indicates the previous inputs as well. So this is called as dynamic system, right? So we can define the dynamic system as the system in which output at particular instant or output at some instant depends on present input as well as past or future inputs as well. Okay, so this is static and dynamic system, and this is the basic difference between these two. Okay, now next one is time variant and time invariant system. Now as the name suggests, time variant system are those systems in which output changes with respect to timing instant, and in time invariant system output does not change with time. Okay, so we can define the time variant system as a system in which input-output characteristics change with time. That means if I change the timing instant, the input-output characteristics will change. Okay, so this is called as time variant system. Similarly, we can define the time invariant system, which is a system in which input-output characteristics do not change with time. That means there will be no effect of timing instant change on the input-output characteristics. That will be called as time invariant system. Okay. So now in example, if you want to find whether the given system is time variant or time invariant system, you have to perform this following 3 steps, which is necessary to mention. The first step is delay the input by k samples, and we will denote it as y of n comma k. That means whatever the input signal is, you have to delay it with k samples, that is x of n minus k. This is the first equation. Second, replace n by n minus k. That means, and we will denote it as y of n minus k. Okay. And now the third step is comparing this first and second value. That means if y of n k equals to y of n minus k, the system will be called as time invariant system. That means with respect to time, it does not change. So this will be called as time invariant. And if y of n comma k does not equals to y of n minus k, that means with timing instant it will change. It will be called as time variant system. Okay, so these are the steps you need to perform when you are given any example to solve and to give the time variant system or time invariant system. So whenever you are asked to define that, you need to perform these 3 steps, and we will see this in the examples. Okay, so first all you need to do is you have to delay the input signal by k sample. Then you need to replace all the n in the given equation with n minus k, and then you need to compare these 2 equations. If both are equal, the system will be time invariant system, and if both are not equal, the system will be time variant system. Okay. Now let us see next linear and nonlinear system. So in linear and nonlinear system, the main concept is a superposition theorem, which we have seen in previous subjects. Now a system is said to be linear if it satisfies the condition for the superposition theorem, and if it does not satisfy the superposition condition or superposition theorem condition, it is defined as nonlinear system. That means what? To a given system, if I apply the 2 input signals separately, and if I get the output and then add them, then it should be equal to if I apply the combined input to the same system. That means what? To define whether the system is linear or non-linear, in your example you need to perform these 3 steps. That is, step 1, here you need to perform 3 steps to define whether the system is linear or non-linear. So step 1 is consider the 2 different inputs and them separately to apply to the given transfer function or to the given system, and then add them at the output side to get y3 dash of n. That means we will denote it as y3 dash of n, which will give you the individual addition of the input. Let's say for example there are two inputs, x1 of n and x2 of n. Then we will denote it as y3 dash of n, that is equals to x1 of n plus x2 of n, right? Then step 2, in this we are going to combine the input. So here combine the two inputs at the input side only, at the input side, and then apply to the system or to the transfer function, and then apply it for the given transfer function, that means to our system, and denote it as y3 double dash of n. So here we are going to find two equations, y3 dash of n and y3 double dash of n, where y3 dash of n is the addition of the two individual inputs which are given to the system and then added at the output side, and y3 double dash of n is the signal in which two input functions are added or combined at the input side only and then given to the system transfer function to obtain y3 dash of n. And now step 3 is you have to compare these two equations. So that means if y3 dash of n that is equals to y3 double dash of n, that means if both are equal, the system is said to be linear system. That means this satisfies the superposition theorem. And if y3 dash of n does not equals to y3 double dash of n, the system is said to be non-linear system. Okay, this will be more clear to you when we will see the examples for this. Okay, so as of now you need to remember these three steps to define whether the given system is linear or non-linear system. Okay, now next is causal and non-causal system. Let's define the causal system. So the causal system is defined as a system in which output at particular instant depends on present and past values of the input, present and past values of the input, but not on the future values. Okay, that means if I consider for example y of n a system that is equals to x of n plus x of n minus 2. So this system will be called as causal system because this instant considers the present input and this instant considers the previous or past input. So this is causal system. Now let us define next, that is non-causal system. So it is defined as the system in which output not only depends on present and past values of the input, but it also depends on future input values, okay, or future values at that particular instant, okay. That means what? If I consider an example in which y of n equals to x of n plus x of n plus 3 plus x of n minus 5. So in this example, as you can see, this output depends on the present input as well as n plus 3, that means future inputs, as well as n minus 5, that means the previous or past input values, okay. So this system will be called as non-causal system, right? So there is a difference between causal and non-causal system and static and dynamic system. In static and dynamic system, the input depends only in the present inputs values. If it depends whether it's in past values or in future values, it will be dynamic system. Whether it be a present value or past value or future value, it is also called as dynamic system, right? But here in causal system, if output depends on present as well as on the past values of the input, it is called as causal system. And if it depends on future values or future value as well as past value as well as present value, the combination of these is also called as non-causal system, okay. Now next is stable and unstable system. So as the name suggests, the system is called as stable system if for condition BIBO condition, that is bounded input bounded output condition, satisfies. What that condition is? So any system to be a stable system should satisfy the BIBO condition. What this BIBO condition is? BIBO condition stands for bounded input, bounded output. That means if I give the limited or bounded input in particular range, then for that input I need to get the bounded output, that means a finite output. It should not be the case like for any finite value input I get the infinite value output. That will be not the case. It will be then unstable system, right? So whichever the signal defines or satisfies the condition of BIBO, that means for any finite set of values at the input side, if I get the finite output, then that system is called to be as a stable system. Otherwise it will be called as unstable system, right? Here almost all standard signals which we have seen are stable signals or stable system. All standard signals will give stable system, okay. So you need to remember this for the examples. Let's say for example we have considered sin C function, ramp signal, sine function, cosine function, exponential function. So all these standard signals are generally stable systems, alright. So these were the 5 properties of discrete time systems. We will see the examples on this. That will be very important for you. It may happen that in your exams individual properties are to be there to check, or it may happen that all of these properties are given combinedly to check for particular given system, okay. These are the references. Thank you for listening.